So you'll all be aware, hopefully, that there was a national cybersecurity strategy published at the end of 2016. A kind of key strand of that was looking at the security of IoT. And from my departmental perspective, the focus has very much been on consumer-connected products and services, I think largely for the risks that have already been kind of outlined around both the kind of risk to individual users, privacy, security, safety, but also the impact that DDoS attacks has on the UK more broadly, and the kind of role of government, I guess, in supporting a kind of prosperous economy. So we've been looking at consumer IoT over the last few months and working very closely with the IoT Security Foundation and others in terms of how we do that. And I think our focus has largely fallen into kind of three buckets, all of which hopefully align very well with the presentation that we just heard. So there's something around setting out what good practice looks like and getting broad consensus to that. So as I just said, there is a kind of plethora of guidance and best practice already out there. I think what we're trying to do from a government perspective is create some sort of consensus, not just domestically between government and industry, but across global partners in terms of something that we can all sign up to and really kind of simple core principles that are there to kind of eliminate the fundamentally bad practices that a lot of these vulnerabilities arise from. So that's kind of one bucket of activity we've been taking forward. The second is around enabling and informing consumers. So this isn't, again, just a role for government, it's not just a role for industry. How can we work with some of the consumer-facing organisations that are already out there to make sure that consumers are really informed about the security of the different products that are coming to the market, what's the role of retailers in that space. And then the third bucket of activity, really quickly, just to end on, is around how can we get the right kind of mix of incentives, I guess, and regulation in the system. So there is a lot to be done to leverage things like GDPR and the kind of privacy concerns that that tackles. But equally, there is a lot around product safety. The government is currently drafting a consumer green paper looking at kind of consumer protection over the next few years. And I think there's really important regulation that's already out there that we can probably use better for the purposes that we're trying to achieve. So I don't think this is about creating new regulation where it's not needed. I think it's about using the levers that we already have at our disposal to better effect.